Whoa, whoa, sorry, I didn't see you there. You startled me. Hey, I'm Buster Moody. You may have heard of me from things like comic books, illustration, artwork, animation, beats. I make salsa from my garden, so I like to keep a garden. All types of things. However, if you haven't heard of me, then you can go ahead and just click off on the video, close it, shut the video down, don't watch the rest of it. Basically, get the out of here. If you don't know who I am, then get the out of my video. Leave the video right now. Leave! Anyway, now that the lames are gone, we can kind of get to the point. It's recently come to my attention that these zines of Lazer Storm Giant Slayers Volume 1 that I've been selling probably in like the last 6 to 8 months, Volume 1 specifically. These zines, I realized that some of them are collated wrong, and they are in the wrong order. I don't know how many have gotten out to people in the wrong order. I suspect anywhere between 20 to 500 basically have gone out to people in the wrong order. So what we're doing with this video is I'm going to show you how to take one of these zines that you've bought from me, remove the staples, reorder the pages, and put it back in the right order, so that way you can read the story like it's supposed to be read, in zine form if you have one of these zines. You can also try this at home yourself without these zines. If you have a different zine, you can try it with that one too. You can go ahead and just practice for whenever you do eventually buy one of my zines that may potentially be out of order. This all being said, most of my zines are in the correct order. It's just if you have Lazer Storm Giant Slayers Volume 1 specifically, and it's going to be one of these green covers. So the first printing that I did of Volume 1 was a blue cover, and those are all in the correct order. These green covers, the second and third printings, are, of course, out of order though. So I'm going to switch to tabletop view, and we're going to get into how to actually fix that zine. How you doing? We're all set up here. So go ahead and grab your copy of Lazer Storm Giant Slayers Volume 1, of course. Grab your copy of Lazer Storm Giant Slayers Volume 1, and so you'll see that the issue here is that this right here, what's supposed to be like the middle, if you go to where the staples are, the middle spread right here, it's actually reversed. So it was collated, and each one of these pages, when they were collated, were set up wrong on here. So what we'll need to do is we're going to remove these staples, we're going to flip over this sheet, we're going to re-bend it to, you know, match up the spine and everything, and then we're going to staple it, re-staple it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to open up the book exactly to that middle spread right there, and you'll notice it's where the staples are. What I would suggest doing is actually using a staple remover, and in normal circumstances that is what I do also. However, we just moved, so I don't know where that thing is. I looked all around, I can't find it anywhere. I have no idea where the went to. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way, and we're going to essentially just use our fingers. If you have fingernails, try and use your fingernail to reach underneath there. Ouch. And you will poke yourself several times, which if you start doing your own comics and zines and stuff like that, you'll realize that the DIY comic gods do demand a blood sacrifice. So you will actually poke yourself and draw blood at least 6 times while you're doing this. Once we've gotten that loose there, as you can see, I've kind of pried both sides out. You flip it around to the back, and once again use your nail, if you have them, and pull that staple out of there. Do not tell CGC that you did this. Once you get your own book and send it off to CGC for grading, do not disclose to them that you have removed and replaced the staples and rearranged the order of the pages of the book. Otherwise, they may bricks. So just toss those extra staples aside. So once we've removed those staples, go ahead and just set the book down like this and grab it and flip it over. Just that middle page right there. This is actually the correct order. So go ahead and flip it back over, and we'll close it and kind of just make sure that everything is lined up. Okay, so what we're going to need for this next stage of the video is one of these long staplers. So you're going to need to have one of these, especially if you're going to want to like re-staple the book back in the order that the pages are supposed to go. So go ahead, if you don't have one of these yet, go ahead and pause the video. Go ahead and order one. So just stop the video, stop it right now. Go ahead and order one of these. Wait for it to be delivered in the mail. come back to the video once you have it, and then just press pause again, and it'll play, and just let the video play out from there. This is mine right here. So we'll go ahead and line the book up like so. Let's make sure that once the stapler head drops, it actually is hitting in the right spot. And lo and behold, it is not. So we're going to need to adjust this right here. So in addition to this just being like a Lazer Storm zine repair video, this is also kind of like a DIY make your own zine video. So you will need this swing line. It doesn't need to be swing line, I suppose, but you will need a long stapler. So when I line it up, it looks like I may have gone a little bit too far there this time. So let's back it up some right about there. Okay, and once we're lined up, boom, smash that. All right, now on the bottom, I'm going to assume it's still lined up, so we're going to go ahead and... There we go. Great. So, let's check it out. Let's go ahead and... One thing that I've found is useful to have is actually it's called a bone folder. So go ahead and get your bone folder out. If you don't have one of these, go ahead and pause the video and order one. And then once it arrives, you can start the video again. So what we do with these bone folders, essentially, is these have already been folded, but if you up your folding whenever you restaple it and everything, what you do is once you have the zine ready, you run that bone folder all along that spine. Oh yeah, this is like zine chiropractic. Okay, alright, so we did the bone folder. Another thing that I wanted to show you guys, or at least mention, is that I myself sometimes when I'm preparing for shows and conventions, I'm often trying to get a bunch of zines ready to go in a very short period of time, usually leading up to like the night before I leave for the show. So occasionally things will get by me, like I'm not able to trim to full bleed. So there may be a few copies of these Lazer Storm zines out there in the wild that I did not get a chance to trim, like this one that I have here. So if you find yourself in that scenario, what you'll need to do is go ahead and order yourself one of these right here, which is in fact paper trimmer. So go ahead, and what you're going to want to do is pause the video, order yourself one of these paper trimmers, wait for that to arrive, and then start the video up once again. And what we're going to do here is, maybe I'll zoom out a bit here, and I'll show you what to do for these. Alright, so one of the things that I did when I was designing this Lazer Storm zine is, on the cover there's really no borders that you see that go full bleed, nothing goes full bleed, but on the back I did include the full bleed, and a lot of it was because I do the DIY thing myself, so I want to be able to know where I actually need to trim this without having to leave like trim marks and stuff like that on the paper, so I go ahead and do that, do it like this. That's why I designed it this way, so that way I know where to trim, to make sure that everything inside also goes full bleed whenever I cut those margins. So oh yeah, it feels so good. And sometimes it sticks, especially when I'm like trying to contort my body around the tripod and the phone. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful clean cut there, I can tell. Great. And then what you'll notice that you have is a comic that goes full bleed. That's beautiful. And do you actually need to go out and spend, get yourself a stapler? Do you need to go out and get yourself a bone folder and get yourself like a paper trimmer? Do you really need to go out and get all of these things in order to read my zine the proper way? Maybe. Maybe. It depends on where you bought the zine from me and like what the situation was then and what level of completedness and quality control I was actually able to give to the book at that time. So, but like I said, regardless of that, you can one-up yourself as a publisher, you know, as a DIY zine and comic person, with these tools. So if I were you, I would do a little bit better job cutting it, like not around the tripod like I did. But regardless of that, thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit up bustermoody.com, order yourself some Lazer Storm. Go ahead and check out my Patreon, which has Lazer Storm on it. That's like where I'm actually serializing this book, you know, page by page as it's coming out, which is what I'm working on right now. So check that stuff out if you're so inclined. If not, then whatever. And I hope that you have a nice day. Bye now.